What's going on, YouTube family? Well, breaking news. Trump has decided to bomb Iran anyway. And it's crazy because just not too long ago it announced that six B-1 bombers, stealth bombers, had took off from here and were apparently on their way to Guam. At least that's what the story was. So now it was just reported that Trump just went ahead and decided to bomb Iran's 3 nuclear sites. So that effectively has now put the United States at war with Iran directly now. So this just the latest. This probably happened, within the last hour for sure. So I just thought I'd get on here on my walk. So of course there hasn't been any, reports of, the outcome of the bombings. I'm quite sure they used the big bomb. They've been talking about the bunker busters. So it's a wait and see what happens now. I'm kind of glad that if he did, that he did decide to do it, that he just went straight at him. We're not playing around. Sent 6 B-1 bombers, hit 3 sites, and I'm sure these won't be the last strikes. So it's pretty interesting times when. So now it's just a wait and see to see how Iran responds. Uh, they still have the Houthis down in Yemen. They're not a lion without teeth. That's for sure. So here we are in another war. So we don't know how this one's gonna pan out. He's already said that there won't be boots on the ground, but don't they always start off like that? Depending on how the Iranians decide to respond, this thing might turn out to a full-blown war eventually, right? If they start sending boys and girls on the ground, that's gonna get real messy. And then we got to keep our eye on Russia and China. What's going on with Russia? We've been so concerned about this Iran thing. Nobody's paying attention to Russia, and they haven't let up on Ukraine. So yeah, this thing is starting to really it's starting to spiral. It's major conflicts for sure. And I want to end on this last point. Uh, the N.A.A.C.P. National Association for just something for colored people, whatever, right? So the first time in 116 years that they've been an organization, this is the first year they decided not to invite the President of the United States at one of their functions. A man who literally had the hand of God on him, was a miracle, spared his life, survived an assassination attempt, had all type of adversity against him, from court cases to try to take his assets in New York, to winning a landslide victory, and has been hard at work since the moment he took the office. And the N.A.A.C.P., with no type of decorum, no respect, nothing, decided that this would be the first president in 116 years to not invite to their function. Isn't that amazing? These people are supposed to be for the advancement of colored people, and they won't invite the president of the United States. They can't get off their high horse enough because they lost as the Democratic arm, right? That they couldn't draft some type of proposal. They could have went to the president with child support reform, prison reform, all type of other issues they could have put before the President Trump to consider, and I'm sure he would have taken them up on it had they humbled themselves enough to invite the man to their function. So that just goes to show you, to me, that just sheds more light on that party, especially on the blacks within the Democratic Party. They're not pro-American. They are a Marxist, communist party that's being funded by those who do not stand with us as Americans. That's as clear as day. And to call themselves the advancement for colored people, and we represent the black and the marginalized and all that, blah, 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 right? When it came down to the nitty gritty, they did not represent the majority of the United States citizens that voted for this man to be our president, and they wouldn't bring them to their function First time in 116 years. Black people, you should be ashamed of yourself if you're still supporting this type of party that has failed the black community for the last 60, 70 years. And it's because of organizations like the N.A.A.C.P that's been finessing the black victimhood mentality for all these years and hasn't produced no positive results at all. And the first time they could have went to this president and humbled themselves and at least came with some type of proposal for him to consider that would have actually benefited the black community overall. But no, they're a Marxist organization of the Democratic Party. They're leftist, anti-American, anti-Christian. So there's no way, let's get off that Democratic plantation as a people. It's about time till they reform. All right, that's all I got. So everybody have a blessed and wonderful day. Thank you for watching.